Hello, Caner Universe. Welcome, all new members to the culture, to the channel, to CSDU. A lot of new members coming in. A warm welcome to you all, members of the remote Caner online coaching. Again, it's great to have you here. Today's topic is when should we be going into blocking mode as opposed to Powershot mode? Those of you that follow us on ACSD know that your Powershot template is both offensive and defensive. In other words, and by the way, I'm going to turn in my Raven for a padded drone, because you know what I always say, I need my training partner to come back and play. And in this case in particular, this can get me in all kinds of trouble, but put the knife away, not just yet. If we're dealing with somebody here and you get to go into Powershot mode and they're coming in to throw a punch or to do anything, you're knocking that shot down, right? I'm not blocking, I'm coming at you. I have the tool, I have the reach, I'm coming forward and you have to deal with it, and I am targeting bony area. So a shot here, bam, if I have the room to go ahead and maneuver, then my power shots are both my block and my strike. But are there times when you just go into that quote unquote blocking or defensive mode? And the answer to that is yes. There are times that call for that, times where you're confined, times when the attack is really quick and you have to go into that mode. However, each one of those responses should leave you in a position to counter immediately. So we'll take a look at one of them. And by the way, please, I'm going to tilt that camera down a little bit. I know that you're hearing that there are a lot of options for how to carry this cane. Not so much, bring it up a little bit, how to carry the cane. Guys, there's two ways to carry the cane. The nomenclature is already in place. It's either a standard grip where the horn is pointing towards you, or a reverse grip away from you, and anything else. Why in the world would you want to be walking around calling attention to yourself by hanging around with my cane like this or any other way than that tip making contact with the floor? Think about that for a second. If your security, if people you don't want that, right? If all of a sudden you need to, hey, have a conversation and you do this, that's different. Or it's a multiple tack situation, you decide to go here because you think that windshield wiper is going to get you out of trouble, that's different. But I don't care to be hanging around like this or this suitcase grip. It's this way. Got it? So that's how we're going to start this off. And if you're in here now and I'm in this confined area, I'm going to work first with something like a roundhouse punch, a punch that's coming in here, and for whatever reason I couldn't. The cover hand is so important, right? In SCSD, I'm telling you, it's to defend, to block, to grab, to create distance. So listen, I couldn't, boom, there's the strike. So this is my actual strike. The movement, if I'm facing you, is to go ahead into this armadillo where I'm taking the brunt of the blow in this meaty padding, not on the ulnar bone that can fracture, but here also I'm fanning across and I'm coming down kind of like a one. And I am striking to the inside, come from here, and I'm gonna go slow because even padded drones can leave a mark, right? And so you're coming in here, you're shooting this down. Now, once I shoot that down, notice that I can come here. It's tough to stop that one, even with the other hand. Always keep in mind that this assailant is not a zombie. They have reflexes too. They see things coming. So, bang, I did this. I come in here. She could parry that, but my horn is ready to go. So I'm already inside the gap, and it's such a quick and short movement from here to here. The hallmark of American cane self-defense from day one, the fact that you can take that and translate it empty hand. So you're here, bang, bang, it's getting inside already. If I had a tool in my hand, which I always tend to have, I'm already with it as well. That's the beauty of what we do. It translates, right? So that would be one way to do this. Another way of doing it would be an attack that's fast. I didn't have the time. I had this down. I'm going to show you first how it would do it here if you would just tilt. But the movement is just very short in here. And this is what we call the half body concept. Sometimes I can actually kick and move it out like we have in one of our form exercises. It's here, it's very fast. Again, here comes the lunge. I do like to knock that down, right? And it's all, notice that I bring the hand to check it and I do it. If I couldn't get it here above the elbow, an anatomical position above the elbow would be anything up here. So when we say above, it's always anatomical position is palms up. And moving in here, now I'm already to the inside. Now I'm to the inside. And it can also be something that's lunging, right? So she lunges here. It should always set you up, the initial move, to go ahead and with a secondary strike. So it's never just this, you're not going to see a lot of this tying up both hands. The hands always, if I use both hands, then it comes down to one, and that's where I take out that shin. So when you see movements like this and you see individuals spinning over here, part of the maneuverability, having the ability to get to that cane from one position to the other, moving in here and then moving, and you see that the cane is moving down and coming across, that's already starting to train your, it's almost like shadow boxing, right? And it's starting to train your neuromuscular response. So in this case, coming from this angle, right, you couldn't, it just came, boom, you had to move quick. That would be a strike. It's very different with a padded, boom, and you're taking it out down here, or even coming up from the top, you can still come over with that horn. The third instance that you may need to go into that quote-unquote defensive blocking mode is, in essence, with an overhead strike. Now, she picked up the knife here, and I absolutely hate it. To me, it's the most dreaded attack, but we can demonstrate it here. One thing for sure, I don't like this position. There is a time and a way to use two hands on here. We have a lot of drilling and maneuvering from here, but it's not, what you're not going to find, as I pointed out many times, is this type of situation. Okay, this type of situation, all she does is bend that elbow and she'll get right through. So if I'm the attacker and this happens, it doesn't rarely, no. Sharp, when they know what they're doing, right? They move quick with this. It's a disaster. It really is. You're coming in here and this block, it's very easy to get past that and go right through. So you're not going to find that with ACSD. What you're going to find is movement, and movement that sets you up at an angle that you can immediately stop that threat. So if we couldn't go power shot in here as well for whatever reason, now we're going to do this movement and immediately come down and crack. So that it looks something like this. Now, this hand here, notice what happens. Number one, if she continues the attack here, she's kind of stuck, right? Or slide down the hand, it's going to slide down and away. Folks, what do I care if I were to get cut out here? I'd rather get nipped out here, cut out here. This is a non-vital area. But here, that's where everything that is vital is important. And by the way, that would be a shot that certainly we want to disconnect the computer and incapacitate our life. That's a very serious attack. So that would be one way to do it from this angle here. And that's just, we call it in our 12 strike and defense zones, that's your number 12, and we're coming right across, bam, boom, right in here to create that, what we would call a dead angle to the assailant, to the opponent. In other words, we're in such a position that leaves them out of range and we can go ahead and counter. Three different examples of times that you may need to go into that reflexive block first. And how do you practice? Because you should be asking is, what if I don't have a partner? Right? Because how practical is this going to be? That's why you need the structured curriculum in movement that points out to you why it is that we do what it is that we do. Again, I'm using a drone, not the best for maneuverability. Guys, if you want to have a conversation, and because YouTube is like a catalog, right? This is just so that you can see this information and say, oh, that appeals to my common sense, or not, whoever that is. But here's how we do it on this end. You pick up the phone and we have a no cost, doesn't cost you a penny, to have what we call a Kane Clarity Call. Why do we call it a clarity call? Because we're going to bring clarity to the process, the process, a step-by-step blueprint as to how to structure your training at home, even if you don't have a partner, and how it is that you can master the cane or whatever the goal may be from the comfort and safety of home. And so just reach out. What you do is you text the letters CCC to 305-745-7839, and in less than 24 hours, the team will reach out to you, schedule a call, and you bring pen and paper, because we're going to go ahead and have a powwow. But by the time we're done with that call, you know exactly how it is to structure your training and how to take the next step. To that end, those of you next week, May 25th, we open the doors to the next 6-week Cane at Home Challenge. And that is the way that we are going to take you from 0 to your first leader, your leader rank. That's your first cane rank in just a mere 6 weeks. And we're going to have a great time, because every single week we're going to cane together. I get to have my eyes on you, give the support and the feedback that's going to get you your first big win. I'm Joe Robaina for American Cane Self-Defense. Thanks for watching. Keep caning and stay safe.